Today we're here at the OSU Student Farm, and we're not talking about vegetables. In fact, we are being joined by Dr. JoHannah Biang, who is a new faculty member in the horticulture department. Well, you've been here a year now, I guess, so not quite new, but we've got some fun classes that you're bringing online, and this is part of that as a laboratory. Let's talk about what this space is.
Yeah, so I developed a class last semester called herbal plant production. And so this space supports that class so that students can come and learn about herbal plants and their uses. So it's kind of a teaching / research space.
Okay.
I'm also doing a little bit of research in here at some point on cut flowers, but more for the teaching side of things, I would say.
Okay, so yeah, we've got a little bit of a space back there that's not quite developed, but and it's all a work in progress because this is your first season with this?
This is the first season. We put the raised beds together last fall, and then we got them filled last fall, and we started planting this spring.
Okay.
And so it's definitely a work in progress. I'm going to probably change some things around that I already am not sure about. Also starting to learn the lighting of the space too. There's some areas that are a little bit more shaded in the afternoon, and some plants might like that better long term. So kind of making a lot of observations this year, and then going to move forward with a couple of changes.
And you both have in-ground and raised bed options as well. Can you talk about maybe kind of what you've chose to put where?
Yeah, so initially the idea was to put all the annuals in the raised beds, or things that we might want to do like a small scale study on. But the in-ground area wasn't ready for the perennials at that time. And now it's a mix of annuals and perennials. But as we've developed the outer area, the outer beds, that's where I want to put more of the long-term perennial crops, or anything that I want to grow in a larger amount that would be in the ground. And then the raised beds would probably be more focused on annuals or even flowers.
Okay. And this isn't a new subject matter for you. You came from Georgia. Tell us a little bit about what your background is with this.
Yeah, so I came from the University of Georgia, where we also had a student farm called U-Garden. And part of that farm was a medicinal herb garden, and it was production based. So we were growing herbs to make medicinal teas, salves, lip balms, all kinds of different products that we sold as a fundraiser for the farm.
Okay. And Georgia gets hot.
It does. It's hot, it's humid, and the soil conditions are a lot different, including the pH. And so I'm learning a lot being here in Oklahoma. We have the wind, we have a lot of sun all the time. We do get humid, but not quite as humid as Georgia, although today is a little different. And the pH here is kind of like crazy compared to Georgia. We were on the acidic side, so I was always liming the soil.
In Georgia.
Yes, in Georgia. Here, it's the opposite. We have higher pHs, so in some areas, I have to think about potentially lowering the pH, usually with sulfur, over time.
Okay. And your class, though, is wrapped up. We're after the end of the spring semester. You guys were able to turn some product, though.
Yes, we made a couple of different blends of tea. We did a Tulsi tea. So Tulsi is a type of basil. It's more known in Indian cultures. It's a very sacred type of herb. You dry it, and then you use the leaves for a tea. And it helps your body kind of adapt to stressful situations. So it's really good for...
We all need that, right?
Exactly. So we did that. And then we did a blend called Calm Your Cowboy. And that is obviously a calming tea blend, which everyone needs at the end of the semester or any time in your life. And that one had Tulsi, Roselle, motherwort, red clover. And some of the ingredients we sourced here at the OSU farm, the Roselle and the Tulsi. The other two ingredients we actually purchased from U-Garden. And so they were able to give us some for our first batch, but we're planning to grow those things and harvest them for next year.
But the students actually put all that together?
Yes, they blended all of the herbs, packaged them, put little stickers on them, made it look really professional. And we sold them at the Herb Fest at the Botanic Gardens a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And then we also made a couple of salves, one with comfrey and one with calendula.
Okay. And you've got a lot of different plants here. You mentioned Tulsi, and then the motherwort. What are some others that are kind of more unique, other than, sage, thyme, basil? We all know those.
So we've got some dye plants that I'm hoping to kind of play with as well. We have a dyer's chamomile that I've never grown before, something called madder that's also supposed to be good for dye plants. Roselle is also in our tea blend, and that's a type of hibiscus, Hibiscus sabdorifa. It is tropical, so it's not hardy for us here, but we can grow it. And the part of the plant that you use is the calyx.
Okay.
So the calyx surrounds the seed pod, and we harvest it after the bloom has fallen and the calyx is swollen. It's about $1/2 quarter size. Clip it, you remove the calyx from the seed head, dry it, and then that's what we use for the tea. And it does create a very red tea.
Okay.
So if you've ever had red zinger tea, that's one of the main ingredients.
Okay. But it's a late blooming plant, right?
Yes.
So you're kind of experimenting with some different species of
Yes,
that?
it is. It reacts to short days. So as the days are getting shorter, it tends to bloom more. But then we have issues with frost as days are getting shorter, and it is a tropical plant.
Okay.
However, we were able to source some from the islands, the Virgin Islands, that are day neutral. So those should, as soon as they hit maturity, they should flower and make the calyx regardless of long or short days.
Okay. Well, we look forward to hearing more about that. And you've got a beautiful yellow one behind us, blooming too. Can you tell us about that?
That's the calendula, and that's what we use for a salve. So once the flower opens, we harvest it and we dry it. And then we combine that with olive oil. We make what's called an infused oil. Then we strain that and add beeswax, and it creates a salve. And that salve is really good for any little cuts or bug bites. We're getting into mosquito season and ant season, so it's really good to have on hand for any of those little bites.
Okay, well, these products aren't for sale just yet if you missed the herb festival, but stay tuned because who knows what next year's class.
Stay tuned. We're ramping up.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing this with us today. We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.